Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective reading, so just be aware that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. I have already cut the cards and washed them. Just going to give them a final cut, or shuffled them, I mean. And now I'm going to give them a cut, and we're going to get the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And we have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is here with a communication. And this is talking about the energy of bringing in health, wealth, and happiness. And he's very focused on this pentacle. This is, in the old days, the pages worked for the king or the queen, the royalty. And they were 7 to 14 when they started. And then when they were 21, if they had enough money to buy a horse and were well accomplished at what they were doing, they would be offered a knightship. And so this energy could be, back then it would have been male for sure, but now this energy could be male or female. And it's communication coming in. The communication these days is not probably, it doesn't necessarily, it could be, but it's not necessarily going to be someone knocking on your door and, like in person, but it could be a letter, an email, a text message, a social media post, something like that. Some information coming into you regarding your pentacles. And the next card we have, and this is the underlying energy for the deck. So this is about your health, wealth, and happiness. I'm just going to double check that this card is properly centered so that you'll be able to see the whole reading. Then we have the Queen of Swords here. So the Queen of Swords is sitting on her throne, and she has appeared in this position in the last week or so. She has her left hand out, so she's willing to receive this gift or this communication regarding her pentacles. Having said that, she has her head above the clouds, but she has her sword raised. So she is saying, I'm clear on what I want, and if this isn't something I want, then off with your head. In the old days, that's how it would be. Excuse me, I got the hiccups for some reason now. But the queen, she's sitting on her throne, and she's above the clouds, like her head is above the clouds, and she is very sure of what she wants and what she doesn't want, and she's not going to entertain anything less than what she wants, or she wants come in and no bullshit. I want to know exactly what did you come here to tell me. And the High Priestess is here. So the High Priestess is also sitting on her throne, and this is sitting on the new moon. I'm doing this reading right now. It's for the middle, it's right around the full moon, like on December the 4th. So the new moon, this could represent the new moon from November 20th, or it could be talking about the new moon coming up. So this could be past, present, or future energy. The High Priestess is sitting on her throne, and she is using her intuition as well as her logic. And so I feel like that's what this is saying. Whatever information comes in here about health, wealth, and happiness, the Queen wants to be able to use both her intellect and also her intuition. And then we have, and tomorrow there will, as I'm doing this reading, there is a full moon tomorrow, and that's December 4th. And it's a full moon in Gemini. So the moon energy, that's what the High Priestess follows. And then we have the energy of the Four of Pentacles coming in. And this is saying either in the past you have sold yourself short, or you are right now selling yourself short, or don't sell yourself short in the future. This is a strong foundation for whatever it is you want. And the pentacles quite often do represent money, but they also represent health, wealth in prosperity, abundance in your lifestyle. So that includes, your being able to go out with your friends in the neighborhood you want to live in the city, in the country that you want to live in, that kind of energy. So this and the climate is coming up for some reason also. So this is a strong foundation for getting what you want. But it's saying that don't, like in the past, you may have sold yourself short and not realize that you could have what you want. And possibly some communication, maybe there's an opportunity you've been waiting to hear about, or you're purchasing a property and you're waiting to see if they accept your offer. It's that kind of energy. We've got rowing off to calm waters, and this is like rowing off to calm waters with God. And the High Priestess sits right next to God. She's the second card in the major arcana after the Fool and the Magician. So this energy, she's about joy. She's in joy because she is always on the path that God intended for her, and that's the energy here. This is someone who once has been in rough waters and wants to move on to calmer waters. So there could be a location change here, like an actual physical one. This can also represent moving on to like letting go of worry and moving forward. There's a child in the boat. This sometimes can recognize or represent someone who's is in the process of healing their inner child, and they don't want to continue being where they are right now or doing what they are right now. They want to move on, and they want peace in their life. That's their main priority right now. And they've had to really dig deep, and that has required going inward like the High Priestess does, to commune with God to see, okay, what direction. And so some form of communication she has sent communication and is waiting to receive it. That's what I'm getting, because she's still waiting to hear back from the communication she sent. And we have strength. Yes, and here's that, it's kind of confirmation for this inner child, because this is like a young woman reaching into the lion's mouth. She's doing that because this represents her fear. She's reaching into the lion's mouth, even though it's a dangerous thing to do, to prove to herself that she can face her fears. And the lion's tail is submissive. It's showing that the lion's going to allow this. The fear can be something that is released. And especially with this full moon, full moons are a great time to release. This is a Gemini full moon. So it's kindergarten age energy. So if something happened in your youth around that age, this is about the infinite potential once you let go of that fear, and recognizing now that you're not a child anymore, that you have way more, you have abundance and you have coin and that at your aspect. In the past, maybe you were small and this could even mean 4 years old, I'm getting. So if something happened when you were 4 years old, it could have been your parents got divorced, could be like a lot of things, right? So we just going to leave it at that, like something that has caused fear in you, and maybe that you haven't let go of, and it's holding you back from being able to accept this offer, or you just haven't heard back yet. Or you sent the offer and you have you're like, this would be like you're selling your house and you're waiting for them to, they say they want to buy it, but you want to see what their offer is. And then you'll be able to decide whether or not you accept that or you counter offer. It's kind of that energy. And so we have the Lovers. So this also could be now about a lover. This is about choices we make, who we want to do work, who we want to be with, particularly in romance. Notice we have the clouds here, which says if this could be something, maybe she's waiting to hear something about a potential lover, but she wants the information. Her head is above the clouds here. And at some point, these clouds here represent that these two didn't know each other as well as she would need to make a decision regarding her partnership, like on this level. And then, or perhaps he did, and recognize that this queen could actually be a male that's in their feminine energy. Yeah, so it's like this or that. Should I be with this person or not be with this person? Should I stay where I'm living or not stay where I'm living? Should I sell my house? Should I accept this offer? And it's kind of like really based here when she's in this energy. It's really based here on what's happening in the physical world. And this card is saying, because you have eyes, you cannot see. So you're looking for answers on the outside of you. You need to go inward like the High Priestess, so that when the offer comes in or it doesn't come in, that you'll be okay with it, and that you'll be able to intuitively come to some sort of resolution within yourself, and then be able to make that choice, a choice that you want to make. And you can recognize it doesn't have to be this or that. If this offer doesn't come through, then another one will. That's the kind of energy. And notice we again have the new moon in the background here. And the new moon, the full moon is like on the 4th, but there'll be a new moon on the 20th. And that is Capricorn energy. And that's more about physical matter, like on the planet Earth. It's about ambition and that kind of thing. Whereas the Gemini is more about your childhood and how you were raised and how that affects your decisions. That's, for this reading, I'm getting that's really strong. And so I'm building a pyramid here. And this is the bottom line is representing what you have right now to work with. So you have your intellect and your intuition. You need some healing from your upbringing for some reason. And it might just be how you were raised to think about money, that money doesn't grow on trees, and, not to take chances with money. That kind of energy is what I'm picking up. And then it could also be about love, because this represents the lovers. And you might be making a choice between maybe moving somewhere. And I keep getting this energy of wanting to move on. So it could be moving out of one career into another, because it involves the Pentacles. It could be leaving one lover for another to go to another location, that kind of energy. So we'll see. We'll keep going here. So now we have the Magician coming in, and the Magician is the first card. The Fool begins his journey. He's the 0 point. And then the Magician is the next card, and the Intuition comes in. But you have to use your intuition, I'm getting. You're going to need to use your intuition, if you haven't already, to be able to use the tools that are at your disposal for to begin this journey, and to get the full benefit of what the communication from the page is. So the tools are all on the bench. Like it's saying, you do have the tools here to be able to move forward, as above, so below. And the Magician is pointing to this energy right here. You need to go inward. That's the same energy here. It's not this or that. There's way more options. And he's pointing to the sky. The sky's the limit is what I'm getting here. And you notice the infinity symbol here and here. And so he's saying you need to look at the energy from when you were a small child, and what you were taught about money and about health and wealth and happiness. And you need to recognize that you're an adult now and you have other choices, because this card is about choice. And this could just be as much as bringing the energy of bringing your masculine and your feminine energy together, because if you're making business decisions, you need both. And so this could be about you balancing out your masculine and your feminine qualities. And that could be what this is also. Or it could be two people, or, what we discussed earlier. But the Magician is an energetic upgrade. So this is saying, there's flowers down at his feet. This is saying, this is the earth is a garden. Whatever goes missing, you'll notice, if you clear a path, or clear a patch of land for a flower bed, and then you leave it for a year and you don't do anything with it, the grass creeps back in the weeds, and it's full of something. The universe doesn't leave things empty. The void will be filled again. So that's kind of the energy that's coming up. We have this energy of, this can represent heartbreak. So there could have been some energy around that, and that's why you want to move, and it had to do with a lover. And now maybe you were in a location because you were with a certain someone, and now that it didn't work out. And so now you want to move on, and that's triggered some memories. Maybe your parents got divorced when you were 4. I keep picking up 4 years of age, just before kindergarten, going into kindergarten age, that something is triggering you around that. And then, so the Gemini full moon is on December 4th, tomorrow. So that's a 4. And I feel like the Gemini full moon, they're saying this is the perfect time for you to let go of anything that happened around kindergarten and release it to the full moon energy. It's a super moon. And when you release that by the new moon on December 20th, but I just said November 20th, there was a new moon on November 20th. So something might have happened then. And now, like tomorrow, I feel like it's emotional. So the energy has been building and you've had to face it now. And you will have more clarity because there's information that has come in. And maybe now, like there's another new moon on the 20th of December, right before Christmas. And that energy, by then, I feel like you'll have a pretty good idea of what you want to do. This energy of the new moon, I'm thinking about doing, I've been doing astrological readings, if you want to check those out also, for each of the zodiac signs. And I did a bonus full moon energy because it was coming up in all my daily readings. And now I'm thinking about doing one for the new moon coming up on December 20th for all the different zodiac signs, because it keeps coming up in the energy. And that's because we're moving into a new year. We're coming to the end of a year. We're moving into a new one. And people like to have like clarity by the end of the year to move into the energy of the new year. It's like cleaning out your closet before you go and buy new clothes for your wardrobe. It feels good to bring them in and have space to put them in. And so this is coming up here, that some sort of information maybe came in, and this is like a heartbreaking decision has potentially been made. So it could be that the person you're with, this sometimes represents threesomes, but notice that the heart is quite big for the size of the swords. So recognize this is something you can heal from. And when you recognize that, I'm getting the energy, like if it's a partner that you were with, a lover you were with, it might have been you choose lovers that triggered this energy that when you were 4, and they're not the most beneficial for you, but you're choosing the same kind of situation to heal from this old situation. So this is rowing off to calmer shores with God, going inward like the high priestess does, to be able to really heal from this. And I feel like when you do that, you're really going to have the answers come to you. And perhaps you haven't been able to speak your truth. This also can say, though, because like this looks like a cliff with a cloud, or it looks like shoulders and a neck and a head. And this also could be like your subconscious mind, which is the subconscious mind is what happened to you between like the time you're born until around 7-ish, like just around grade 1, kindergarten, grade 1, that energy. And that energy is your subconscious mind. And it's like most of us can't really remember that part of our lives very well, especially in the first 3 years. And this energy is like your subconscious mind. It's how you were raised, what you were imprinted with. And it's actually really like, it's people who were in charge of your care telling you who you were, what you were like, but they didn't really know you, you know what I mean? So like, it's kind of, and their memory might not be that good, or they might have their own version of events. And so then we have the unconscious mind, which is our spiritual needs and how we are raised, if we're raised with religion or not, and it's with spirituality or not. And learning, this quite often means it's sitting right on here and here. And this was right before. And I just really feel like for you to choose really good partners in your life that are really going to, a really good lover for like that you want to get in a strong relationship with, you need to heal this kind of energy of feeling like it's coming up and not playing small, like you're not as worthy as you think you are. And then this is your conscious mind. So what you do know, and when those all get in alignment with your heart, then your heart's desires come into being. So this is the, what you have to work with. And this is the obstacles that are coming up for you to be able to manifest whatever this offer, this communication is coming in. And it could be a proposal for marriage. So there we go. So this card is about marriage. It's about commitment. It's talking about the beginning stages of it. And it's sitting right here again. Maybe you're afraid to get married because your parents had really not a happy marriage or whatever, or they had such a happy marriage, and every time you date or whatever, it doesn't measure up to that energy. But this is talking about moving into a new way of being. And I really do feel that this new moon or this full moon tomorrow would be an awesome time to release this energy. I'll be putting this out first thing in the morning on December 4th at 4 o'clock in the morning. So my time, actually, that's when I put them out, because it's a daily read. I like to give my friends on the Eastern Coast a chance to also, receive it first thing in the day. And I also have clients from Europe, and it kind of is noon for them. So that's why I put it out at that time. But it's just interesting. There's 4 wands here. There's 4 pentacles, and this energy of healing. Yeah, I really feel that this is a really, really good opportunity for you to really recognize your value and recognize maybe what has been holding you back for quite a long time here, and reparenting that. And that doesn't take a long time. And once you know what the issue is, then you know what the obstacle is, then you're able to accept, like, maybe this is an offer coming in that you don't want to refuse, but you don't know whether or not you want to, whether you can handle that is what's coming up. And this is about planting seeds. So 6 of Pentacles is a step up from 4 of Pentacles, and here's the 6 of Swords. I feel like there might be 6 issues of how, I a lot of times, like growing up, my dad worked really hard, and then he worked for a company. Then he ended up having his own business. And he was always kind of like impatient when it came to business and just in general. He wasn't the most patient. He was a go-getter, And he would say, shift or get off the pot. Because when he was growing up, they only had the one bathroom in the house. And it was actually just a pail. Like back in the old days, that's what you were really considered to be wealthy if you had a room in the house for people to use a toilet, but then you had to carry the pail out to empty it. And that's the kind of energy, now we have running water, and it's hard to even imagine that. But that's the energy of the improvements that happen. And those improvements also are, when my dad would say shift or get off the pot, he meant there was 8 people in his family and there was only one bathroom. So, it was a highly desired spot. Let me put it to you that way, especially in the middle of a cold Saskatchewan winter. So this energy is about planting those seeds, and those, the 6 is 6 of Pentacles is like, now you're starting to really have something that you even could give away a little bit, but you have to weigh in. What do you want to give? What do you want to take? Here is the energy of, giving to this beggar, but this beggar's not receiving anything. And he has a justice is the scale here. And he's knowing, I will give to this person because they really do need it and they're grateful. But this person already has something in their pocket and they should go out and get a job. That's what my dad would say, shift or get off the pot. I don't know, my dad's energy is coming in here pretty clear. So it's making me laugh. He was a really good guy, really funny. He had a temper, but he really learned how to make it funny. Like he had a way of correcting people, but he didn't he didn't demean people so much, but what he did is he made a joke, you know, and he was kind of sarcastic, and you get the point. Like when I was learning to drive, he would say, wow, you really do like to ride that brake, don't you? You know, like that kind of energy. And so this is about having the patience and to heal this. And this is the energy of moving into staying on your path and having the patience to know that eventually things will work out. This is all, I guess the reason why my dad's energy is coming in here, and it's this childhood stuff, is because temperance is that Sagittarian energy of, you know, having devotion to your life path. And then things go well for you, but having to be patient at times to be able to have that happen. And Sagittarian energy is not known to be the most patient in the world. And so it's kind of like you having to learn to have that patience to be able to move into a better way of being. So this is basically saying, you know, that you have, like, you're at six coins now, and so you're way better than you were at 4. You have to have patience, and you have to learn the give and take, maybe of business, of relationships, and I really feel like also just moving forward on the path that you want to move forward on. Yeah, and then having peace of mind. So like that's what I get this Queen of Swords energy represents. It's a person, if you're out there right now and you're thinking, I just want peace of mind. I want to have a good life. You know, it doesn't have to be totally extravagant or anything, but I want to be able to hang these subconscious, unconscious, and conscious thoughts on the wall and be at peace. Lay down the sword of thought. Like I don't want to have to overthink everything all the time. I want to have, you know, trust in my life path. And this stained glass window is saying, it has the word Pax on it, and that means peace. So this is like wanting peace of mind, wanting to feel secure, like that type of energy. And so those are the obstacles. And I really feel that the obstacles are really all inner boundaries. They're things that you can control yourself, that you can heal from and then move forward super strong. Yeah, because look at, bang, right there we have it. Now we have 9 pentacles, and that's only 1 pentacle away from the most that you can have in pentacles, and that might be this one right here. And look at it, it's just like, this is the tools you have. This is the obstacles that you face, and now this is having the courage to face them and move forward. So this means cleaning up your environment. I'm getting this energy of clutter, and so a cluttered environment makes a cluttered mind. So it might be something as simple as, really, if you're thinking about selling your house, but what's stopping you is, oh my God, it's going to be so much work to do it. I can't even imagine going through all that stuff and packing it up. Get started on it and get moving on it, because as you clean your environment and you start looking around you, and you have like everything has some, like the energy is everything that you have has a place, and everything you can just put in its place. You don't have to think about it every time, because you've already made a place for it. And there's only so much space you have, and that's the same in your mind. You don't want to be decluttering your mind with things that are taking you off your life's path. So this card, if you've heard of Nikola Tesla said, like, if you knew the power of the 369, then you would have the key to the universe. And he was brilliant. And so this is saying there's 3 in the bush here. Those are behind her. It's something that she's willing to give for charity or whatever. But she has her hand on these 6, because she's going to keep these 6, and she's going to know how much to give and take. But look at, she used to have 6 pentacles to give and take. Now she's got 9. So things are improving, and that's what it's saying. And I'm getting, just by decluttering your environment, having a clear view of what you're going. As soon as you declutter your environment, you declutter your mind. And it's one of the best things that you can do. And then the more you declutter your mind, the more you're able to declutter your environment. And this energy is really important, because if an opportunity comes up but you need to sell your house. You don't want to have to take a year to declutter your house and get into a position where you're ready to sell and then move. So that's the kind of energy. You can gather a lot of shift in a short period of time when you live in the same house for a while. It really can pile up. So it's a good idea to stay on top of that. And by staying on top of it, you're going to have the energy then, like if an opportunity comes up, then it won't seem so impossible. It's like the falcon represents looking into the future, having a clear view. Yeah, and then it would be like a whole new world. And this card represents the end of a cycle. And we're moving towards the end of the year and we're moving into a new cycle. So this is really strong energy for everybody to do right now. Like going through, like even if you just declutter one drawer at a time, it's going to make you clear energy for your mind to be able to put towards other things. And then you'll also have more pentacles if you sell some of it that you don't need and that kind of energy. And this is again saying, yes, this is like this card sometimes scares people. Very rarely is this actually a death. This is more about transition and birthing into this new world. Like if you want this fulfillment, then you need to clear this energy up. That's all. And it's not even, just by getting started by clearing your environment so that you're having more energy inside, like to be able to fill that. Like when you empty your mind, then you can refill it with what you want rather than with what you have to do sort of energy. And so this is about this is saying that this peace of mind that you want, you have everything you need to do it. You just need to take action for this transition to happen. And it's just a decision that you make. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's room for rebirth here. Some people don't want the change. And these little innocent children, they do want the change. They're like, let's have the change. And so you might have thought, I'm never going to move from this house. I love this house. I don't want to leave this city. And all of a sudden now you're feeling like, no, I want to move out of the country, like that kind of energy. And so being able to be in that position where you're willing to do what you need to do to have this fulfillment. Just because you really enjoyed something doesn't mean that it's wrong or it wasn't right for you. It just means that now you want something else, and that's okay. That's what life is about. And now we have another communication coming in. And this is the Page of Cups. So this is talking about health, wealth, and abundance, and that includes money. And this is a cup of love. So this could be about marriage or a partnership, and you're thinking about saying no to the offer because you don't want to move. But then when you really think about it, you're like, wait a minute, maybe I really do want to move. And that's represented by this energy here. This Page of Cups he's got a cup here, but there's a fish in it. And I really feel that this card comes up a lot. And I feel like it's coming up a lot because back in 2020, around that time, we moved from the Pisces energy, which is like two fish tied at the tail swimming in different directions. And it's that kind of energy of moving into the age of Aquarius. And in the age of Aquarius, we are breathing air. And so a fish out of water is not comfortable. And so a lot of people are really starting to feel that because like now that we're moving into 2026, I feel that when 2020 happened, what is that? That's a 4-year. And so we were kind of in kindergarten about the move, like we were new babies moving into this Aquarius energy. But now, like the 2025 adds up to 9, so that's the end of a cycle. And 2026 adds up to 10, and that's a brand new start. And I feel like the age of Aquarius energy is really hitting us when we move into 2026. It's going to be very different from the last few years as we were slowly getting used to this energy. Now it's like clear cut. And you can tell because the Aquarius energy is all about innovation, experimentation, observe, experiment, double up on what works for you, let go of what doesn't. Don't spend all your time trying to convince yourself that you made this decision 8 years ago and that's the decision you made, and how could you possibly change your mind now? It's like, it's probably quite likely you're going to change your mind now, because we are really fully starting to embrace this energy. And you, like the AI, there was talk about it, and all of a sudden, bang. Have you noticed how much talk there is about AI? And I'm actually using it to empower me. Like, so there is some very good time-saving qualities of AI, and then there's some real shifty, fishy energy about it, right? So you have to be willing to re-educate yourself, reparent yourself. That's the kind of energy that we have coming into this new year. There we have now the Page of Wands. Isn't that awesome? We have the communication from the Pentacles, from the Wands, and from love. And so this one is saying it's time to take action. The Page of Wands is enthusiastic, young. He's got a feather in his cap. He's ambitious. He loves the mysteries of the world. He loves to experiment. He loves to envision, and he loves his wand. So what this is saying, sometimes the Page of Wands thinks with his little head. He's got just a little beret it's a little, I don't know what you would call that kind of hat, top hat. No, it's not a top hat. It's just a hat. I know there's a name for it, but anyway, the feather is very little. And by so like he does have a feather in his cap, and he does want to move forward. And sometimes he does so without all the information, but he's young and ambitious, and he's in that energy of it being really excited about the future and anticipating everything that's going to happen. And he just feels like, no, it doesn't matter. I will be able to handle it as it comes to me. I will learn as I go. And that's a really good attitude to have now. And it's coming right after I was talking about this energy. So I feel like that's the energy that we're all going to be embracing, is change. That's the one thing we can rely on for sure. The one constant that we have is change. There's always change. Even if we can't recognize it at the time, there is change. And look at that. So this is, what you have now, obstacles, the courage to do that. And this is your heart's desires. Now look at the plume on the Page of Wands is now a Knight of Wands. He's a grown-up version of this person. And look at the plume on his helmet. Like he's really advanced, right? And he obviously could afford a horse to be able to become a knight, and did a really good job. And look how sure he is with that wand. Like he loves and look at now, he's not standing in place thinking about his wand. He's already been to visit this mystery, and he's on to a new one. He's already moving forward. His horse is bucking him. So this is representing, he's very fiery. He's got the red gloves on, the red plume, but he has learned how to hold his emotions in, to rein them in, and he's reining that in. And the horse wants to move forward, but he's like, no, we're in it's hot out here. We need to go at a good pace here. We need to make sure we know where we're going, and that the information that we're relaying possibly to this Queen of Swords is 100% clear, because she will be off with your head if it's not. She will not accept an offer that is not clear. And then we have the Ace of Swords coming in, and she's saying, that's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Don't even approach me unless you're coming in with a clear message, and you clearly, like it's the truth. Otherwise, I'm not going to entertain it. And then the Ten of Pentacles comes in. Really cool. So this is that energy of becoming more mature. And it's also, and it doesn't matter. It's not about age. It's more about stage of life. I love this energy. This is saying you could be any age and then make changes like this and just really enjoy it. And it could turn out to be the lifestyle you always wanted. Look at it's raining money. There's you're living in a really nice neighborhood. There's a big house in the background there. You have time to stop and chat with your neighbors. There's 2 dogs here, and there's a child. Like, so it's like you have time. Like, even if you're, by this point, you're a grandparent, now you finally have, you could go for a walk every day. You have time to do that. You might be semi-retired, retired, like that kind of energy. You have more time to be with family if you want to be. You have time to travel. That's the kind of energy that you want to be in. That's a real cool energy. And that requires this shift in attitude, like of, okay, it doesn't really matter. You know, you can get really attached to something, but if it's not suiting you anymore, what's the point of staying? And I feel like that's kind of representing this energy here of going through that portal and deciding, you know what, maybe I do want to move to a new country. Maybe I do want to accept this this offer of a new business or a new opportunity, or even because the lovers are here and marriage, that maybe I am willing to move to a new country because I want to be with someone. And maybe that's not crazy. Maybe that's a really good idea. It seems like God is like saying, yeah, no, it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. And here the cloud is gone in between. So this, whatever this energy is, I feel like the energy is like, you're not, this Queen of Swords is not going to entertain, you know, an offer that isn't worthy of her. She's just not. And so, and this Knight of Wands realizes that that's the energy. I don't see the king that he's working for anywhere in here. So this, it could be the knight himself that's delivering the message for himself. We have, so that could represent someone that maybe is younger than the queen, or from a different social status is what's coming up. So, and remember, the queen could be a male in the feminine energy, and the knight could be a female in the masculine energy. And this could be like, this is really Sagittarius energy, because it's like a centaur almost. The horse is rearing up and he's holding it, and it's the fire element. And it's about traveling, right? And then this energy right here is the Nine of Swords, can represent a never-ending nightmare, something that just keeps happening over and over again, and it doesn't change. But I feel like this is more saying, it can also represent that you received enlightenment, and quite often that enlightenment comes between 2 and 4 in the morning. Is maybe, you know, on the night of the full moon tomorrow, in that energy. And you know, the full moon energy can be felt for sure for 3 days before and after, and sometimes much longer. But sometimes this represents, a lot of times, people in the wee hours of the morning, between like 2 and 4 in the morning, will receive enlightenment from the Holy Spirit. And this could be someone that is trying to remember, what was that dream about? There was this step, these are the actions that I need to take to be able to have this new world, this new fulfillment, this energy here. So that could be, it could be either, I feel like that's more what this is saying here, because yes, then the Ace of Wands comes in, and this is passion for new discovery. So this is the energy that we were talking about here, is the heart's desires. Now this is about, okay, I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to take action on it. I'm willing to answer the message. Now we have a more grown-up version coming in, delivering this message. And this is a passion for new discovery. This is like a gift of being like a child again, and being like really wanting to try something new, and really being excited and anticipating the future. And then we have the Judgment. And so this, I just feel that this is like, there's this Judgment is right on like the swords, or the gifts from the universe and God. And this is sort of talking about destiny, and that, you know, that this is in alignment with what you came here for. That's what I feel like. This is your ancestors cheering you and your descendants on. Like there's the three of them here, which represents the ancestors, and then there's the descendants waving at them from over here. And it's kind of like your ancestors going, go for it. Like, you deserve to have a really good life. This is why we worked so hard, is so that you could. That kind of energy. Yeah, destiny. There's a wheel of fortune is turning. So this energy could be past, present, or future. This could have just happened in the past, or this could be happening to you now, or it's about to happen. But the wheel is starting to turn. It's your destiny to have this fulfillment. It's right on here. And this is divinely guided. And this is something you've been wanting since you were a child. So this, whatever this is, whether this is just you healing so that you can sell your property and take off and be a world traveler, so be it. You know, that's the energy that that this is. Because look at what comes in. Total fulfillment, the 10 of Cups, sitting right on this one here, the 10 of Pentacles. And 6 of Pentacles here and 4 of Pentacles here. Like it's improved so much as we climb up this pyramid. And this is talking about using your insight, like going inward and really seeing, what do you want? You can have that. God is saying, look it, that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's why when we're in court, we swear on the Bible. Is because, and we say, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And then we have at the top, this is a celebration. A lot of times for me, this card is not really a celebration between people, but it's a celebration of the energy. It's what I feel more. Sometimes this can be a card of a threesome or some sort of energy like that. But I feel like this is more, this in this instance, and I really like this is like these 3 swords, that you have accomplished the goal of bringing your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind together. And that is going to allow you to get your heart's desires. So it's not really about the people in between here, because these are messengers, and this is a queen. So as I said, it doesn't, you know, queens don't have to marry kings, but there is not a king in here. So this could be like, I'm talking about an inner marriage of your subconscious, unconscious mind and your heart's desires. Or it could be talking about, you know, queen getting with a knight. That's all cool. Really awesome. So this, going from the bottom up to the top and back down the pyramid, we have the Queen of Swords, like being very clear in her mind of what she wants and what she'll tolerate and what she won't. She wants peace of mind. She wants to have like the prosperity that she needs to be able to have a really good lifestyle. She wants to be able to move on. If she wants to be, she's looking at the horizon, and she's willing to leave behind what she already has. There may have been some concern over that, but I think when this heals, that energy will turn into enlightenment. And because we got the 10 of Cups right above there, and then I feel like this is representing the having enough love for yourself to make sure that you do take the time to go inward and heal this energy. This has been coming up. It came up a couple readings ago. This is destiny for you to be happy, to, you know, in my oracle, the judgment card is the heart chakra, and it's the universal heart as well as the actual, your own heart chakra. This is someone who's very passionate about you and is youthful. This doesn't necessarily have to be talking about age. It can be about a passion for new discovery, and maybe the energy is like maybe an odd couple, but like that's okay because opposites do attract. And then we have the Page of Wands coming in. So this is really, this night is very focused on delivering. That's what's coming up. And look at, that's what the Magician is pointing to. Go, you know, it's not this or that. Like really go inward and look at what you want, because it could lead to this Page of Wands growing up and coming to some sort of realization, and this is destiny, and you heal together. Like it could be that kind of energy. So we'll see and maybe at some point there was this energy, but I really do feel that in this case, it's more about the healing of this energy that this is speaking about than any people involved. Really good energy. If you're enjoying this reading, please do consider liking and commenting. It really does empower me to build my channel. And consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. It would be an honor for me to have you subscribe. And I am going to clarify this energy now. I just want to see, is there some indication of who these individuals are? Or is this like a reading just for everyone to recognize, hey, the full moon tomorrow could heal a lot of people, and our doubts that we have in the way the world is going, all of that energy. I feel like this reading could be about more of a universal, a real general reading rather than any like people. It's not meant to have matching people, or it could be like an odd couple, which sometimes odd couples do the best. So I'm going to clarify this with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I started doing this in 2007. I'm just shuffling as I speak here because I want to tune into this energy. I want to see I want some more information on this. I just feel like this is such a positive reading for all of us. It's really good energy. And talking about, the power of healing and the power of love, right? It's really good. But anyway, I started this in 2007. In 2020, I finished the last painting, and there's 64 of them. And I'm bringing the deck out now. I've had the cards out before, but I want to I didn't have all the paintings done, and now I do. I finished those actually in 2020, and I am ready to print the deck, but I want to gather some more information for the book that goes with it. I will have the numbers on these cards represent the numbers on my website, talesfromthevector.com, TAILS. Oh, this is the card that wants to come out. And this energy, I'm going to list the numbers of the paintings in the order that they appear in this reading. And then you could go there if you want to see what the paintings are about, and also get some more information there. So this is the Tower. And so the Tower, sometimes Tower represents a reality check. And in my oracle, it represents divorce. And so this doesn't necessarily mean divorce between a couple, but quite often the Queen of Swords is, she's the most likely of all the queens to be divorced, because she's kind of, she's totally fine with being on her own. That's the energy. She doesn't have a fear of being on her own. She's independent, and independence is actually really important to her. But it also, this card is saying the worst divorce is from source. And so that's the underlying energy. And now we're going to look at the clarification. So this is coming in a young, the Mercury retrograde, that's over now. And so this is a young adult energy, and Virgo energy is very clean. Virgo likes things in order, dunk, 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 like that. What steps should I take? And it also speaks about having a very clean, organized environment. So Virgos are very much, that's when Virgos are in that energy, when they have everything lined up and it's all clean and they know where things are, that's when they're at their best. And the Mercury is the planet that rules Virgo. So it's also talking about that clarity in the mind. And then the Scorpio energy is coming in, and this is about whether or not you're going to elevate or are you going to conquer. So this Scorpio energy is, Scorpios are best at uniting people and uniting energies. And so this is an energy of really moving into, that like if you clean up your environment and that being really in a position where you could unite this energy. Like if you're considering before, like when you become clear in mind, you might find that you actually do want to do this, and it will elevate your energy instead of being like being divided in the mind is what I'm picking up here more than anything. And then we have the All-Star. So yeah, this is confirming this energy of needing to go off to calmer shores, and that requires this using your insight as well as your logic and your intellect, and about going inward like this card represents here, so that you have the insight to make a really strong choice. And then we have the karmic space of anger. So this is about anger. So maybe something did happen here, and this has caused damage, like from when you were a young child, or it could be like between the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords. That's the only two figures really here that I can see that are figures that could be actual figures in this reading. And then we have the Devil energy. So, okay, so maybe there was some sort of a threesome or something like that happened, and this is something that either the Knight of Wands or the Queen Swords needs to heal from. And remember again that these are archetypes. So, I mean, we do have the Page of Cups here, but that feels like more like information. And I think we have the Page of Wands, but that feels like a younger version of the Knight of Wands. So that energy, I just feel like this is more about the communication, and this is more about maybe if there are individuals involved, that it would be between these two energies. So the Devil is about temptation. And does the devil tempt you by saying, I'm going to bring in some real crap into your life and, sign your soul away, or that? The devil is temptation. And quite often, so you're going to be tempted by something that's really beautiful and, something you've always wanted, that kind of energy. So you're more likely to be tempted by something beautiful and that you thought you've always wanted than to be tempted by something ugly. So that energy, I always cover that with another card. And see what was that about, and what's coming up is attachment, and that's kind of what's been coming up here throughout this reading. It's kind of like talking about when you really become this is a karmic space that we can all fall into, and we could remain in anger. We could get attached to our anger because that's how we were taught to deal with situations in life. But the energy is saying here, like if you become attached, attachment is the mother of all the other karmic spaces, because when you become attached to something, it can cause you to abuse your power to keep it. You can get angry because you don't have it, or someone else takes it, or that kind of energy. So this is about, and it can also be like an anger because you're attached to the way the energy was in the age of Pisces, and you don't want the AI, and you don't want the technology, and you don't want to have to change, and you don't want to have to learn. You were comfortable, you want to stay in your comfort zone. But that's one thing about the universe is likes change, and the universe will bump you off your pedestal and make you. Your job, like here, when you come down to the planet on planet Earth, is to become the best version of yourself. And so if you sit in comfort for too long, you usually get bumped one way or another, and that's the Tower. And so that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. The Tower is a reality check. It's like, hey, is this what you're going to settle for? Are you going to play small, or are you going to go be what you were destined to be and have the fulfillment in your life that you were destined to have? And this means I'm getting surrender to God, surrender This isn't about surrender. I surrender. Like I don't want to have to, like, I'm just going to curl up in a ball and I'm in the fetal position and I'm not going to do anything. This is more like a psychic cleanse. This is about really understanding what your limitations are from the way you were raised and you're growing up, like what impressions were imprinted on you that are stopping you from getting what you want in this lifetime and enjoying it. And this is surrender to the divine path. This is surrender to God. And like, if you don't have faith in your journey, in your own ability to choose what you want, then go inward and really meditate and pray and do what you need to be able to get to this point where you're celebrating the fact that you've healed this energy, this fear from your childhood, and you're not going to let it stop you from having a really good life. And because if you sit in this energy from this childhood, and you go on your journey and you're like really like, it has to happen this way. This person has to be like this. They have to be from this culture. They have to be this age. That kind of energy, you could really, expectations will create limitations, and you almost always will end up disappointed because of that. Then we have superstar. So this is about being able to speak about what you want and also speak it into being. So that's this kind of energy of being patient and, doing the kind of the footwork I'm getting, cleaning your environment, reparenting yourself if you need to create harmony. And if I'm also getting, if you need to speak to someone, about it and about maybe something happened to you that was really offensive when you were a young child and you haven't talked about it and you feel ready to talk about that now and you want to go consult with an expert, go do so. Like do what you need to do to be able to embrace the life you deserve. And then we have like worldly desires, like desires like of the pentacles and what's in the 3D world, and also the energy of like your spiritual needs being met and who you are like being met, like your inner self, and giving yourself total permission to like risk maybe a few pentacles so that you can get to a place where you are actually in your heart's desires and you have the lifestyle and the love of your life and everything you've always wanted to be able to move forward in that. So yeah, intentions, like if you set an intention, but you're relying on expectations of how that's going to come in, and it has to be exactly like this. That's a karmic space you can get into, and then you end up like just stuck here. Like you're not able to move forward because it didn't come in the way you wanted it, and you didn't move forward because of that. Like, hey, but that's not exactly how I pictured it. Like, very rarely do things come in the way you expect them to. That's when the tower hits, right? And then we have destruction for the sake of it. So this is talking about sometimes people will destroy their own life by being in this energy. That's where I'm like, you might feel like if you're really regimented and you do only things in a certain way and you stay in this energy, it's worked for you in the past. Why wouldn't it work for you now? Well, because the whole energy of the universe and the world is changing. And, it's changing rapidly too. It's really like it feels kind of like there's a lot of destruction happening. But I feel like what a lot of people feel kind of like time is moving so fast, and it is moving faster because the more information we have, the more energy we have to deal with. And we are in a time of information like no other, like with this AI coming through now. And it's also this energy of like what's real and what's not real. Like, with AI, it's really making that even more challenging. Like the internet was challenging enough before, but now it's like, yikes, like what, like there's so much that AI can do that can be confusing. Yeah, and so this is like getting into a place where like you get really triggered by that energy, and you get like in a place where you're fighting with people when you don't need to, fighting like the current, fighting the flow of where things are going, or you get into where you want to run away from it, so you're going to sell everything and move to the jungle somewhere where, and then you realize once you're in the jungle, like, that you don't really like the jungle. That kind of energy. And so you don't want to be frozen. You don't want to be stuck in the same old nightmare. You want to be able to move forward and have the life that you want. And so that means, like, not getting all dramatic over change, because there's going to be a lot of change. And I'm getting 2026 is going to be like another year of a lot of change. And we're just going to have to deal with it. And you're going to have to find a way to go inward and calm yourself so that you can make strong choices. And then we have, because this is, if you have a lack of awareness, like if you're not willing to learn a little bit about AI, about technology, you're going to get left behind, because all these other people are going to be using it. And you may have noticed every time they bring out a new version of the iPhone or like computers or whatever, it's already like challenging to really understand, okay, what are these new buttons for and all that. You have to apply yourself, and it's going to become it's going to speed up even more, I'm getting, in that way. And if you don't kind of make an effort to keep up on some level, you don't have to be like a technical wizard, but to keep up enough that you are able to utilize this energy and know how to use it responsibly for yourself, to maybe give you an opportunity so you don't fall behind. Otherwise, you could miss out on opportunities. And then we have the ego coming in. And so, like keeping your ego in check. And in some cases, like being in a place where you need to be more like assertive, like I want this and I'm going to do this kind of energy. People quite often in spirituality talk about letting go of the ego, but you also recognize that that's when extremes, because to live on this planet, we need to have an ego. We need to have an identity of who we are. And that you have to be willing to allow that to shift, is what I feel like this is saying. I really feel like this is a reading for the collective in a bigger way rather than a particular couple. And then we have, the guiding star, like use your intuition during these times. This could be hitting you on some sort of a personal level, but I really feel that this is like just really, really, really good advice on the, moving into this full moon energy of shedding light on, okay, this is how the world is shifting now. And I just feel like because the energy is changing from a 9-year into a 1 year, we're really going to notice it. Like if we think we're noticing it now, I feel like we're really, really going to notice it even more. So I really feel this is really good advice. I'm happy to have this advice before the full moon. And I hope you've also enjoyed it, and consider liking and commenting. And if you are inclined to do so, please do subscribe. I would love that. That's an honor to have you. And I will be back with another daily reading for you tomorrow. Bye for now.